Okay, so the literature review, which we alluded to just a minute ago, needs to be comprehensive, okay? So within the literature review, you're looking at the literature that is most important or most informing for your research problem, okay? And sometimes that might be 2 or 3 different bodies of literature, as we would call it. So like one of the things we've talked about several times in this class is the gender wage gap. So a literature review on the gender wage gap might include literature on gender and employment. It might include literature on wages, okay? And those are different sets of literature, but you are looking kind of at the intersection of these things, okay? So it becomes important to understand what different bodies of literature you'll need to look into, okay? And the idea is that you're analyzing the existing literature, you're synthesizing it, and oftentimes you're offering a critique. They forgot to do this. This is missing. Something along those lines, right? And like I said, or they could use a different methodology. All of these studies are quantitative. I'm going to take a qualitative look at it. That kind of thing, okay? So there's an analysis there. There's a synthesis, putting it all together. And then there's a critique. What was done well? Where can we improve? Okay? And all of this is to support the need for your research study, to illuminate that gap in the research. And then always, your literature review should be presented in an organized manner. So what could look different depending on whatever study it is. But a lot of times when you write, I tell people to tell a story. And by telling a story, if you can tell a comprehensive story, then that's going to get at this logical, organized manner thing, right? So think about telling people the story of your research, and that would include the literature review. So we started here, and we moved down to where the gap is, okay? So in a logical, organized manner. Another thing that helps with logic and organization, particularly in the literature review, is using subheadings. So a lot of times I'll read something, I'm like, when did we switch topics? Subheadings are a good way to switch topics, okay? So that the reader actually knows that you're going into something different, okay? So that's like a little trick that I would use to make sure your literature review is organized. And then when you go back, even as yourselves, as writers, when you go back and read your own stuff, just make sure within that subheading, that's all you talk about, okay? If you start to talk about something different, go to a different section, okay? That helps you stay logical and organized, okay?